at the 31-yard line.
Crash, crash, crash. Here comes the boom. I see you, boy.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down.
624.
On second down, Lynch. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. 3 yards to go on second down. Shotgun now for Carr. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
And this will be incomplete. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. And it's second down. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs. They go play action here on first down. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 41 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12. Ryan. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by the safety, Reggie Nelson. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. That is the play they needed in a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
No doubt about it. They did what they had to do to give themselves a chance to get back into the game. They turned it over to the offense. They are now in charge.
Now they need to execute. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
That defensive front four has been very good. They have just not let the running game get going, have they?
Not at all. In fact, the entire offense just looking a little bit out of sync in this one.
Yeah, sometimes this is why coaches like 4-down defensive linemen. They feel like they can cover more ground when defending the run. This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Escaping the pressure right. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
Well, the fans should be applauding this defense right now. That's an excellent job. They force a 3-and-out, and they should be able to set up their guys with great field position, probably near midfield or better.
Now Carr, gotta have this one. He's gonna look deep down the field. He's got a man, complete. 30, 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Jared Cook, 94 yards. And the Raiders have cut it back to within a score.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting. But I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Out to kick is Janikowski. That's fielded in the end zone. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively.
And the Raiders have got him. Eddie Vanderdoes in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to...
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. A gain of 39 that time. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this 3rd down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the 1st down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. A big seam, and he might go all the way. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow, wow, wow. I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He's back to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. They'll look to throw. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And out of bounds all the way down at the 2-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. That's what they need right now. Get the 1st down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one, because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
So that effort gives them a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, and that's really good strategy, because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage, at least give your team a fighting chance.
And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Back to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. A costly sack. They'll have to use a timeout here. And barring a defensive penalty, they'll be looking at one final play. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So on fourth down, off goes Carr, and on is Sebastian Janikowski. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds, and now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. Tie game, and barring something incredible here, we're likely headed to overtime.
And just a couple of scenarios here to keep in mind. One, if you want to be really aggressive, you do throw the Hail Mary and see if you can get something downfield.
What would you do?
What I would do is either hand it off inside or more likely I take a knee and let the clock run out. Because if I'm back there trying to throw and a sack happens, the ball comes free, I can lose the game here. If I get to overtime, I can still win it.
Let's see if they are in line with Charles Davis. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. On second down, here's Carr. A right side catch by Crabtree. And that one results in 35 yards. Well, in overtime, I think coaches always wondering, where's that magic line for my kicker? They're already in field goal range after that big play.
I'm glad you brought that up because that magic line can change throughout the game. It's constantly being updated by teams. It starts with pregame. Okay, how do you feel? As the game goes on, they might ask him again, still feel that same number? Is it a different number? Right hash, left hash, what do you need? And that goes into the play calling in OT.
They'll run to Marshawn Lynch. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Big boys down there in the trenches, and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense. And what a big-time play there.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. They'll run it. Here's Lynch. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. A partner, great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game. where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well.